In today's video, we'll be buying our first drift car. It's cheap and a little bit rough, but we'll fix all the issues so we can slide it. But as you'll see, things don't always go according to plan.
Oh my god.
Enjoy!
Welcome back in the new video. It's the next day, as you can see. At first, we want to say thank you for the positive reactions on the micro build. We didn't expect so many positive reactions, so thank you for that. As you can see, the Micra is approaching the finish line with all the mods and the stuff we did. But there are still some mods we will do in the next videos. The weather is getting colder, the winter is coming. And with the Micra we can't really slide around, and because of that we decided to buy something cheap and rear-wheel drive.
So we shopped around the marketplace for a while and we did find a couple of cars, but most of them were either too rusty, too expensive, or they were like really far away. But we did find one listing that was like really close to us, and the price is almost good. And if we can negotiate it, I think it will be a pretty sweet drive for us. So let's check it out. So this is the listing that we found. It's a E46 with M52 2.5 liter. It's a two-door coupe. So the price is a little bit out of our budget, but I think because of seller mentioning it has some problems and stuff that we could maybe negotiate the price or buy it without the wheels or something. Like that, and the car is like really nearby. It's like 20 kilometers away, so I think we should really check it out and see what we got. So we are near the seller's place. From the listing, it looked like the 46 is not in too bad of a condition, but the seller also mentioned that it burns a bit of oil and the short shifter is not working properly.
The long shifter?
Maybe it will be long shifter, let's see. So it should be right around this corner. Oh, nice. That's it? Oh, no, that's E91. Oh, this is more like it. Let's check it out. Okay, so the seller is not here yet, and I don't know if he will allow us to film when we will be buying, so let's just take a quick look around with the camera while we can. So, regarding the interior, the sport seats, sunroof, electric windows, that's like all you need in the drift car basically. But from the outside there is definitely some crust. It looks like somebody repaired this before, but it's like not terrible, but...
I think it's a fixable.
And yeah, looks fixable. I looked from the bottom and there does not appear to be like rust holes and stuff, so it should be liftable, and that's all you need really in the drift car. We don't care much about the exterior, but more for the drivability and No rust in the hole. No rust in the. No rust in the holes. No rust holes in the floor.
No emmental in the rust hole. The owner let us try the car and we take it for a test ride, or Jakub take it for a test ride.
So right from the get-go, the shifter is like awful. You can't tell if it's in the neutral. I tried to start it at the place and it was in the second gear and I didn't realize it and I stalled the car just like now. But other than that, there is some noise coming from the back end, but I checked it does not have correct subframe or subframe mounts. That's important in the E46. So it looks like it's the differential mount or the bushings of the subframe itself. So that shouldn't be like too big of a deal. You would really just toss in some poly bushings anyways. Other than that, the engine runs nice, but it looks like the Vanos is not Vanosing. But we will look into that. But it's smoking a bit when you add throttle. On the idle, it's not smoking at all when it's cold or even when it's hot. But if you warm it up a bit and you rev it, then it like creates some blue cloud after the revving. So it should really be either the valve stem seals or the valve on the intake for the oil separation. It shouldn't be piston rings because I checked the blow-by is not too bad. It does not lift the oil filling cap. So I think that's not the case of our issue. But hey, definitely for this price I wouldn't buy it as it is, but if the seller will be willing to come with the price a bit down, I think this is a good car for our winter beater needs.
Tá parkovací senzory. We find out it has parking sensors, which is a really great idea.
For the drifting.
Especially for a tandem drifting.
Okay, let's negotiate the price. Okay, so as you can see, we just bought the car. The seller fortunately came down with the price a lot, so we get it for really cheap. And now let's just see how the car is looking. Okay, that's enough shots of the car. As you could see in the test drive, there was a lot of problems with the car. So let's just go and fix the most important issues of the car. Okay, so the E46 is in the garage finally, and I wanted to quickly, before we start, summarize what's the plan with the car, how we will transform it into the drift car, and what's the plan with it. And I wanted to quickly go through all the major faults that this car has. Okay, so the plan for this car is basically to build a capable drift car for the winter season. So we want to build it cheap and build it fast. So as you can see, the car is not in great condition cosmetically, but that does not really mean a lot to us. What is more important is that the car will be fully working condition. There will be no like major leaks, rust in structural areas and things like that. So right from the get-go, the car is not terribly rusted. There is some spots here on the bottom of the doors. This area, like the quarter panel or how we call it, is fairly damaged. Somebody has put Bondo over it and it's showing, but you don't care about that. It's a drift car, so it will get dented. So overall, from the outside, the rust is not too bad. We had the car lifted, and also from the bottom there is like one area which is a little bit rusted, so it's not the end of the world. And mechanically it's got a lot more little problems, but I'm sure we can deal with those. Hood. Okay, so finally we gotta sort the hood mechanism first, because this is like nightmare. You won't check your oil when you have hood like this, then you open it for 10 minutes. Okay, so after successfully repairing the bonnet, it's now opening normally, and we can have a look at our engine, and we can test the most important thing, which is the compression. If the compression will be good, then we will know that the burning of oil is only because of some minor issue like the oil separator unit or the valve stem seals, which are not as bad as the piston rings. So for that we will pull all these spark plugs and we will test the compression. So let's check it. So we did compression test on all the cylinders, and so from the pressure readings we can see that all of the pressures were within 15 psi out of each other. That means it's below 10%, which is good. And the lowest reading was 195 psi, which is about 13.4 bars. And the highest was 205 psi, which is below 14 or close to 14 bars. This cylinder number 3 was a little bit low, but after that I realized I didn't tighten it fully, and when we did second round of measuring, it was actually close to 200, so all of them are within 195 and 205, which is perfect. It's like brand new engine within the spec, so that means our problem with the oil consumption and oil smoking is most likely the oil separation unit or the valve stem seals themselves. So right now the easiest is to check the oil separation system and check if the problem is there. If it's not there, then it will be painful replacement of the old valve stem seals. So let's check the oil separation system and see if our problem is there.
So as you can see, the DISA valve is snapping back really nicely, but when you put your finger here, it just doesn't hold its vacuum and the valve doesn't stay open. It just escapes because the diaphragm is torn apart. So we need to take off the cap and look at the diaphragm. Let's get to it. Okay, so the parts for the DISA valve just arrived. Let's go fix it. So as you can see, the diaphragm on the DISA is torn apart and it's not working at all. So let's replace it with a new one. As you can see, it was really hard to push down, so I had to get some help. So now we will test if the DISA is working correctly. Firstly, we need to build up a vacuum in this chamber through this hole, and then we are gonna connect a 12-volt source to the DISA and see if this flap closes or not.
No, right?
So as you can see, it was working perfectly right until the vacuum ran out of the chamber. So let's mount it to the car and see how it runs. Okay, so the DISA is now mounted. Now we need to mount the airbox, the MAF sensor and all the hoses and things. So as you just saw, the DISA was working fine. When we started up the engine and the vacuum built up, the DISA closed, and when you applied some throttle, the DISA opened again. So I call it successful repair.
Hello, so it's next day and it's getting a lot colder, which is really motivating to get this E46 drift car finished. Parts for the shifter arrived, so it's perfect time to fix the shifter in the meantime and then continue working on the oil separation unit. So let's do it. Yeah.
Hey Jakub, what do you have for dinner? Cooking with SPEEDVEIL.
So after a little bit of trouble, we finally got the shifter out of the E46, but it was really crusty and it had a lot of play on all three of the bushings and linkages. So after putting the short shifter together and lubricating all the joints, we did run into a problem that the short shifter bushing size is different than the stock one, and we ordered a stock bushing and it did not fit. So we did 3D print a custom bushing that will fit the stock linkage and also this aftermarket short shifter just fine. And on this other side, we did purchase this aluminum piece that is upgrade from the standard bushing that is all the time worn out. This should last a really long time and should be a lot crispier for the shifts. So as you can see, the shifter is now fully mounted. It's way better than it was before, but unfortunately the gearbox itself looks like it has broken some springs that pull the shifter back into neutral position, so it's not like coming back too well. It does come back a little, but that piece of gearbox is broken. But other than that, it works great. So right now I want to tell you what's the plan with all these tires and different rim setup than what's currently on the E46. There are 17s, and this particular tire setup is not as cheap here in Slovakia. So we want to change the wheel and tire setup to something a lot more affordable. That way we can get a lot more seat time from this car. So we came up with an idea. I don't know if it will be a good idea or a bad idea. We will find out. To just basically run the 15-inch Style 5 rims from the E28. The rims have better offset, so it should poke from the car a lot more than these 17s that are like tucked in really far. And the next thing with the 15s is that you can get like loads, as you can see, loads of very cheap, inexpensive or even free used tires, and we can just basically drift these the whole winter. But the next thing with the tire setup is how do you change it. So to save even more money, I would recommend you to purchase a manual tire changer like this and then modify it so you can change even big rims and more expensive rims without scratching them. So this is how you will get the tire changer out of the box. It's okay for changing steelies like this, but it's really time consuming, it's not fast, and it will damage the rims. So we can make some mods. It's only a couple of mods that will greatly improve the time. It will change tires a lot quicker that way, and it will also not damage them. So firstly, we just need to get rid of this metal bracket that holds the rim down, because this will damage the alloy wheels really badly. And we need to change it to this 3D printed cone that I printed from 100% PETG. It's really tough, 100% infill, and it will secure the wheels really good. For the bottom part of the rim, I just cut out this rubber. It's like 3 mm thick. That will protect the underside of the rim. So this is the bottom part. Now we will just place our rim like this. Then we attach this stock part. Like this. And now the most important part. This is the adapter that will allow us to run a real tire machine duct over the rim. And for that I just cut out this pipe and I welded this square tubing in 90 degrees angle, and on the top and bottom there are 3D printed parts that act like some kind of bearing or spacer that it will be held tightly against this pipe right here. Then you just need these two profiles welded together. One is square and one is round. It's got some set screws welded in as well with 3D printed knobs. We'll just slide it on like this, secure it in place. And lastly you need another pipe, and this one is also like 40 centimeters long, and to the end of the pipe is attached a proper duct from proper tire changer, and you will just like this attach it to this jig. You can slide it around and lock it in place just like this, and there is your tire changer all together. It's really easy to do, really cheap, and it costs like the tire changer itself is like 50 euros. The duct is like 10 to 20 euros depending where you can find it, and all the other parts are under 10 euros. So altogether you should be ready to go for under 80 euros. So that's, I think that's really good price for being able to change tires for free at home, especially when you have drift car and you change it like 3 times a day. So let's try to change one tire and see how it goes. Also make sure that it spins freely. Just like that, as you can see. And just like that, 4 tires changed. I think it took around 20 minutes and we got it done for absolutely free, which is perfect. And we can now just mount them on the E46 and do some sliding. So let's just do it.
The E46 was ready to go, so we decided to finally give it a little test drive. But let's just say our first drive went downhill really fast.
Well, we yesterday just finished mounting the tires, so the car was drift ready. And today is my birthday and we went to slide it around for a while. For like 2 hours it was okay, but then when we were coming back into the garage, I just fucking slipped, hit the curb, and well, oh my god, you can't make this shit up, man.
Car's equivalent to Poseidon's kiss.
It's hard to tell if the suspension is bent. You just need to get it moving somehow so we can tow it to the garage and see. Overall the damage is not too bad, just the splitter wheels. This looks like one nice dent and that's about it, but we'll see about the suspension. Man, first drive, first crash. Man, it was like going pretty okay, but then as the road is wet and we got like wet feet and stuff like that, I just slipped feet on the pedals and well, the car did transition when I didn't want it to transition and I'll spin around, hit a curb and that's it. We'll just need to tow it back to the garage and try to fix it. Overall, I think the damage is not too bad, but we'll see.
odkiaľ nevidel ani ja, no.
Well, looks like the arm is bent. Hopefully not chassis.
Okay, so in the nearby grass we found all the pieces of the diffuser. So we'll just weld it together with just some soldering iron. So that should be good. Unfortunately, the rear axle is crooked, so we need to get new arms, or at least one arm looks like it's bent.
And the last thing that we need to sort out is this hanging side skirt.
Daj close-up na hento.
Well, and we also did bend this a little, but that should come out pretty easily. And then we just need to check if the front axle is okay. From here it looks it's okay, but you just need to go for we just need to go for an alignment, and then we will know for sure. Well, thanks to your comments, the Adam is finally working on his Skoda. It's running and the Beamer is not. Well, Adam is testing the Skoda. Well, Adam bought another Skoda.
All I see is jack shit.
The red one that is here in garage, and he wants to swap the gearbox from the green one to the red one, because this one in the red Skoda is missing a synchro, so he will just swap it for this one. So he's testing if the gearbox is all right. For that he's gonna do some skids. Okay, so we successfully drove the E46 back to the garage. Unfortunately, the rear axle looks like it's f***ed on both sides, so we will need to do a little bit more wrenching on it, unfortunately. But luckily that's a problem for future us and future episode. This is it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry that we didn't capture any drifting before it exploded, but that's how it goes. Merry Christmas, ale to asi bude až po Vianoce. So that's it for this episode. Merry Driftmas, and don't eat curbs like us. See you in the next episode. Tak môže byť.